KHOU 11 News at 5:30 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Cheryl Mercedes. We begin with a fight at a homecoming after party that turned dangerous fast. Harris County Sheriff's deputies are now looking for someone they say opened fire at the house in Katy. 3 teens were wounded. Authorities say the home on Bridge Meadows Lane was rented out for the night. Reporter Brittany Ford spoke with the property owner.
The aftermath of what neighbors describe as complete chaos.
I just heard a whole bunch of gunshots go off at once, just bop, 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 you know what I mean? Ran downstairs, came outside, seen people busting through the fence right there.
When I was talking to 911, I said, by the way, shots just fired and there's kids running in every direction.
Deputies say a fight between 2 groups during a homecoming after party at this home on Bridge Meadows Lane Saturday night led to shots fired. Authorities say 3 teens were injured. They say the party of up to 200 people, mostly teens, was advertised on social media.
When I saw the floor, I said, hey, there's trouble here.
Bladia Bui owns the property. He says he was shocked to what he came home to Sunday morning.
I don't know what to do. I said, is there any dead person in the house? They said, no, nobody died. Then I said, glory be to God.
Abui says his home was recently pulled off the Airbnb site, but was contacted by someone who had seen the previous ad. He says he agreed to what was a private transaction.
On Friday, she just called that to see okay for them to pass the night or something like that, that their family are coming from somewhere, 3 of them.
Never expecting his home to become a crime scene, he says it's something he'll never do again.
God forbid, I will never try it again.
Brittany Ford, KHOU 11 News.
A driver was killed when their Mercedes SUV lost control, slammed into a wall, and burst into flames. Now, this happened early this morning on Westheimer near Highway 6. The identity of the driver has not yet been determined, and the cause of this crash is under investigation. A 17-year-old is due in court tomorrow on charges of kidnapping, sexual assault, and robbery. Alvin Rodriguez and a 16-year-old boy are accused of kidnapping a woman from her driveway, then driving her to another location where investigators say they raped her. This happened on September 2nd. Precinct 4 deputies found the woman naked and hiding in bushes near Highway 290 and West Little York. The world is preparing to say goodbye to Queen Elizabeth II. Her funeral set for tomorrow. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden have begun paying their respects to the royal family, attending a reception with King Charles and other international leaders. Before the reception, the Bidens visited the Queen's coffin, which is lying in state at Westminster Hall. And as he signed a condolence book, the president remembered the Queen fondly.
When the Queen had us to the castle for tea and we were joking crimpets, she kept offering me more. I kept eating everything she put in front of me. But she was the same in person as her image. Decent, honorable, and all about service.
According to Buckingham Palace, President Biden is among 90 other presidents and prime ministers planning to attend the Queen's funeral. You'll be able to watch the funeral service for Queen Elizabeth II right here, live on KHOU 11. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 4:30. KHOU 11 Morning News will provide local news updates every half hour online on KHOU.com and KHOU 11 Plus, which you can download right now on Roku or Fire TV. Hurricane Fiona is slamming Puerto Rico with high winds and pouring rain. Power is out across the island after a transmission grid failure, but officials say flooding and mudslides are their biggest threat. So far, there have been no reports of injuries or deaths in Puerto Rico, but Fiona is blamed for at least 1 death in the French territory of Guadalupe. All right, let's turn things over now to meteorologist Pat Kaplan. I know you're watching Fiona really closely and our weather as well. Pat.
Yeah, so a pretty remarkable setup here. Okay, so we're almost 5 years to the exact day that Hurricane Maria devastated the island. as a major hurricane. And we are also looking at this storm making landfall in the exact same part of the island that was devastated by that large earthquake. So really, Puerto Rico cannot catch a break here. All 1.4+ million residents of the island in the dark. That will probably go on for days, if not weeks, as this storm continues to ravage the island. And again, this just goes to show you that it doesn't take a major Category 3, 4, or 5 hurricane to really do a number on an area here. So a tremendous amount of rainfall coming down across the island. There's the eye of the hurricane now starting to move away off towards the north and west, but tremendous amounts of rainfall still continue to move in. As of the 4 p.m. advisory, winds still sustained at 85 miles per hour as this storm moves towards the north and west again, but just tons of rain feeding off the Caribbean here. And you can see where you get these bands of yellow and orange that sit over the same area for an extended period of time. This is the area where we're seeing just tremendous amounts of flooding, where you get those heavy rain bands training over the same area. In these spots, we've seen already reports of 15 to 20 inches of rain, with a lot more on the way. So again, this storm continuing to move to the northwest at about 10 miles per hour. This is the rainfall, additional rainfall to come. So here's Puerto Rico, here's the Dominican Republic. This is going to be the next area to be impacted. You can see the heaviest of the rain, at least to come over the next 12 to 24 hours, will be over the ocean, which is good news, but still 4 to 6 inches of rain here across the Dominican Republic. Still another 12 inches possible in Ponce and on the western end of the island. So not a good situation for our friends and family down in Puerto Rico. We've got hurricane warnings in effect here for the eastern end of the Dominican Republic. And then as you get into the Turks and Caicos tropical storm warnings, it does look like the worst of the storm passes to the east, which means that the dirty side of the storm passes well to the east of the Turks and Caicos as this storm strengthens to major hurricane status probably by Tuesday evening, if not Wednesday morning. There it is as a Cat 3, and that'll maintain that strength as we get into the end of the week as it makes that approach towards Bermuda. Good news, though, it stays very far away from us here in Houston, making its closest approach to us maybe about 1,300 miles away. So the reason why we're not going to see any impacts here in the mainland U.S. has to do with two areas of high pressure. High pressure blocks tropical systems from any type of movement. So where we see that red shading indicates the influence of those highs on Fiona. So we have that blocking mechanism in place. Watch what happens as we go through the upcoming week. That ridge actually splits into two. So we have one branch of the ridge going to the east. Another branch of the ridge actually sets up shop over us here in Houston. And then Fiona is able to kind of escape between those two areas. And that ridge, by the way, brings us near record heat as we get into the upcoming week. So it's that heat ridge that deflects Fiona away from the mainland U.S., which means that we see big-time temperatures here over the next few days. Live look over the West Loop. There's Post Oak and the Galleria area. 91 right now. Feels like 100 degrees. Going to be kind of tough to believe it that we're actually getting the first few days of fall towards the end of the week with these temperatures. So the rain chances drop this week. The temperatures climb. And again, we still continue to track the latest on Fiona as it moves away from the United States. Let's talk about the weather at home, though. Rain chances really start to drop off. 20% chances for tomorrow, about a 10% chance, if that, for Tuesday, and then goose eggs for the rest of the week. Here's Future Track. Any downpours or showers that are out there now fall apart. As we get you through the overnight, we're mainly dry. Tomorrow morning, we start off with a mix of sunshine and clouds, very similar to what we had today. Maybe 1 or 2 spot showers, maybe a thunderstorm on the sea breeze as it moves inland for tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll do it again for Tuesday. Tuesday, we start off with a mix of sun and clouds, and even more sparse chance for a shower. In fact, I think pretty much everyone stays dry on Tuesday, and then we turn even drier as we get into Wednesday. And again, it has to do with that heat ridge. Very similar setup to what we had in June and July, with temperatures making it into the upper 90s. In fact, we're going to get close to records, especially by Thursday and Friday. Friday, we could actually break the record. So the forecast temperatures there in the blue bars, the records in the orange, and you can see we flirt with the records there towards the end of the week. So some big time numbers on the way here as we get into the first few days of fall. For the overnight, though, 73 in town, 72 Angleton, 77 Palacios, low 70s north and west, near 80, though, at the coast, mainly clear skies. There's the forecast for tomorrow. 94 in town, upper 80s to around 90 by the coast, but mid-90s start to build farther north and west with mainly sunny skies, just an isolated shower chance. There's the 7-day forecast. Fall, in quotes, starts on Thursday. I put it in quotes because temperatures are going to be near 100 degrees. And we stick with that heat at least through the end of the week. Again, Cheryl, we're talking about mid to upper 90s here and not a drop of rain in sight. So the biggest rain chance that we see over the next 7 days will come in for Monday and Tuesday, and even that does not look impressive.
All right, well, if it keeps the storm away, then I'm for it, Pat.
Exactly.
All right.
But we could use a cool down.
We absolutely, always. Okay, finally, let's congratulate some science students at Brazos Woods High. They set a new world record for altitude achieved by a student-designed and built rocket. Now, this team of 21 students built a rocket that blasted more than 45,000 feet into the air, smashing the old record of 36,000 feet. Back in June, the students took part in a national contest at the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. The Army just confirmed that record last week. Congratulations to them. That's all for us for now. Thanks for watching. We'll be back on TV tonight at around 10:30. See you then.